All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Fed just cut by 25 basis points and they locked in the October and December cuts as well. However, as I've been saying all morning long, first move, wrong move. It's 2:06 in the East Coast. The first move is up. Do not be surprised if the market has a rug pull going into the close. What happens next week is most important. And before I go any further, I want to say God bless each and every one of you inside of that Discord, more than 200 strong, halfway to our goal of 500, hopefully by the end of the year. Dozens of you that have joined us in the last few weeks, you just witnessed our 19th win with DVLT, which I'll talk about in a second. And if you're on the fence, or you know what? You left us 6 months, a year ago. Come on back. There's a pinned comment right below me. 60-day free trial, cancel anytime, but it ends Friday at midnight. Do not miss this opportunity. If you'd have had $3,000 trades in my picks, you'd have close to 30 grand in the last 30 days. In other words, 40 fucking years of subscription fees in your first month. And while we're slightly out over our skis, because we typically average 8 to 10 wins a month, not 19. Something tells me, if you listen to this guy right here, with a 93.5% win rate, you're going to make some fucking money. And in many cases, like myself, you'll go from almost nothing a couple of years ago to a multi-millionaire. It will not happen overnight. But when you're 269, or is it 70 wins against only 19 losses, 19 in a fucking row, average gain 41%, you and me are going to make some fucking money, but only if you click the link below after this video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much once again for all your support. First move, wrong move. As I'm looking right now, it looks like 588 and change. Do not be surprised if it goes even lower. What happens next week after the institutions have a chance to digest this news, and most importantly, perhaps what happens in the press conference in the next 45 minutes is what's going to determine the direction of this market. But it reminds me of 1995 or 6. And what we saw in 2018, where the Fed was on pause, in this case for 9 months, and all of a sudden they went on a rate cut cycle, and they just said in the statement released at 2 p.m., October and December were cutting, citing weakness in the labor market. To me, that means crypto, housing, and small caps are on the fucking launch pad. But as I shared in 4 or 5 videos today inside the Discord, don't miss out. Link below. The market is insanely overbought short term. We haven't been below what's called the zero line on MACD for over 6 months. And we're back up into nosebleed territory on the stochastics north of 80. The next few days to a week or two could easily be down 3 or 4%. But when you have an easy Fed with easy money, and a M2 money supply that's going through the roof, and the entire world in terms of central banks are on the same fucking page, you're looking at $200,000 Bitcoin. You're looking at $15,000 Ethereum. You're looking at housing mortgage rates down around 5% by this time next year, if not sooner. Do not miss this fucking opportunity. If you're used to hanging out with Debbie Downers, you know, the kind that are always rooting against you and your fucking family, you need to start hanging out with winners. I don't know, maybe one that's been right 19 fucking times in the last month for 40%. Take whatever your average trade is. Let's say it's $3,500 times 40%. That's 30 G's in a month. That's 40 fucking years of subscription fees in your first month. And again, in case you didn't hear me, pinned in the top comment, a 60-day free trial, cancel anytime, but it expires Friday at midnight. And as I'm parched without my water, let me take a swallow. In closing, we are witnessing the greatest secular bull market in human history, flying cars and trips to fucking Mars. We've got an easy Fed for the next 3 years. And whatever fucking lackey Trump brings in, and there's already one or two that have been proposed, talking about wanting to get mortgage rates down around 3%. You can't fight the tape. You can't fight the Fed. So while it's possible we go sideways and a bit of a rug pull, I gave the support levels 575 on the Qs as the first stop, but we may not even get anywhere close. You can't afford to be sitting on your fucking hands or this thing stuck up your ass for the next 6 to 12 months and beyond. This is it. You've got another 5 to 10 years of a secular trend. Millennials and Gen Z combined with AI and the productivity gains, $6 trillion of dumb retail cash that's still on the sidelines, massive multi-$100 billion corporate buybacks, and much fewer supply in terms of IPOs that don't come public versus when I was a broker in the 1990s. It means the market, crypto, is going this way. Interest rates, mortgage rates going that way. I can help each and every single one of you that are watching me right fucking now make money. More money than you ever dreamed possible. And as the weeks, months, and years go by, you'll start to believe, because most of you don't, that you have the power, the opportunity to get rich. I used to drown in scarcity consciousness. I was raised to be happy with what you got. It took me fucking decades to get to where I am right now. And I text you in real time exactly what I'm fucking buying and exactly what I'm selling. And if you didn't hear me to open this video, 19 winners in the last month for an average gain of 41%. DVLT, I mentioned it yesterday, and thanks for sticking with me. At 38 cents, we sold it not once, but twice. You had a chance. If you were in the Discord, you would have known. At 51 and a half, 5 minutes after the 4 o'clock close this morning, it was back there again. And after the 9:30 open, you got up to around 46 and a half, and now it's shit in the bed at 38. We've already gone on to 2 other stocks. 2, not 1, 2. We've replaced that and another one. What's the name of the stock? Pin comment. 60-day trial expires at midnight. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, always remember that I love you. And thank you so very much for watching.